see the end of that passage, and I have to repeat it because Jesus repeated it. All throughout the Gospels, Jesus repeated it. He repeated the kingdom of heaven. He repeated his teaching. He repeated them for many reasons. One, because they were so hard-headed. Two, the confirmation always came in plural forms because many did not believe in Jesus because of religious legalism and rules and regulations in that time of the Pharisee. And we can bring that up to the present. Many Christians don't believe in the truth because they can't wrap their heads around the truth. They can't comprehend that a just, loving, righteous, wrathful, vengeful God has precepts and order with how we're supposed to live. And if we're not in line and in order with those precepts and those concepts and how God wants us to live, nothing's going to be right in your life. Yes, you are going to get what you're going to get because you have choice to go after those things that you want to get. But at the end of the day, it's not in order. Good stuff. And it's quiet in here. So, the relationship of believers to each other. Second realm of how we lived. And the first realm was the relationship to Christ. And in that realm, he gave us 3 orders. The second order of the realm is the relationship to believers. Very important for believers. Please hear this. We pick up John 15:12. This is my commandment. Stop. What are we getting? What is Jesus telling us? He starts off saying, this is my commandment. God doesn't play when he's teaching and speaking. He doesn't play. He may speak in parables so that those that don't know don't understand, but he speaks in parables for those to understand because the message and the mystery is there and it's complete. So, this is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. Now, Jesus came to fulfill the law. The law was in the Old Testament. He came to complete it. He fulfilled it. His order was to bring us into the new law because he was the law that came from heaven and gave us the government, which is the laws and regulations. He also gave us a plan to come to know him. And in that plan, that's what we're going to get into later in this year cycle of salvation. But the law, as he commanded, we read on and he says to this, greater love has no one than this, than to lay down one's life for his friends. You are now my friends if you do whatever I command you. No longer do I call you servants, for a servant does not know what his master is doing. So, no greater is nothing more than love. And what he's telling you is, you can do nothing more than love someone. In that same respect, the ultimate act of love is to sacrifice oneself. That's what God did. He sacrificed himself. The greatest act of love is him sacrificing. We have to understand that. So, when he starts off in this passage, I command you to love because that is what he did. And he wants us to live out how he lived his life. He wants us to operate the way he operated. Beautiful words that Jesus taught here. Verse 15, no longer do I call you servants, for a servant does not know what his master is doing. No longer do I call you Christians,